Greetings. I'm listening.
Great to meet you.
I've been expecting you.
For the good.
You come get the voodoo.
Hey there.
And you are?
Light be with you.
You come to consult the spirits?
Welcome to Orgrimmar. Have you come to serve the Horde?
Shiny sail here, me buy and trade. What?
Sail here, me buy and trade. What?
Hello and welcome to Control Alt WoW, the podcast for those of us who love World of Warcraft and love making many alts. Today is Monday, May 20th, 2019, and this is episode 615 entitled Super Squirt Day Friday. I'm Aprillian, your host, and with me are my two hosts who are going to explain that. How are you, Constructs?
I'm feeling fantastic. I've been under the weather. It's rainy over here every day.
Excellent. It's been raining. It's been overcast here. We haven't seen the sun, but today it got up to 85. It was so weird.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, look at that. All of a sudden, something's updated on my my interface, and I'll talk about that in my segment. But Grand Negus, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Is it raining there?
No, it's well, dark now, so, but yeah. Today we had, yesterday, technically, yesterday.
The recent day that you experienced as a
Yes,
human
it was quite sunny, and 2 days or 3 days ago, we had this rare weather where you have this, when you have a blue sky, blue clear sky, and the sun shines.
Mm-hmm. I've heard of that.
If you don't look into the direction of the sun, you don't really need sunglasses.
Oh, okay.
But obviously, because you look away from the sun if you don't look at it.
Right.
So,
right.
but the other day we had this phenomenon that we had this overcast that, when the sun almost breaks through the clouds,
Right.
and the clouds are so thin that the sun is about to come
There's
through.
no actual sunnage.
Yeah, and the sun lights up the entire cloud cover, and it's so blinding.
Right. It's almost like one of those drawing boards or sketching light tables.
It's as if someone put a white piece of light grayish piece of paper under the sky, right. And then put a bright light on it. where it doesn't matter where you look, it's bright. So I was really, and since I have light sensitive eyes, it's it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun at all.
Oh, I bet. Because I wear contacts a lot, I end up needing shades every time the sun comes out. And if I don't have it, yeah, I get you. But we are having Squirt Day. That's this Friday, the 24th.
Correct.
That's what's going on this week. And
Super Squirt Day.
Super Squirt Day. Do you want to explain that for the novices among us?
Squirt Day, the normal Squirt Day, is basically what it refers to is a character from Diablo 3.
Okay.
Squirt is a little girl in the hub of the second act, and she's called Squirt.
Right. Probably after the old sitcoms, because I know Leave It to Beaver? Or one of those ones, they had a little girl, and they would call the little kids Squirt, as in tiny person.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And so they brought that character over to WoW to the Garrison Menagerie, and as one of the not the bosses to fight, but she has her 3 pets there that you have to fight. She's one of the.
But from what my understanding from when I kind of listened when Rogue Slayer and Lita talked about these things, it's a lot of XP.
They changed it over the years, where originally you could get XP, the same amount of XP, from repeated fighting.
Oh, okay.
Over and over and over. And then they changed it. But now...
diminishing returns?
And then you have but they never changed it for Squirt. Squirt was always the exception to the rule.
Oh.
Right.
So that fight is the one fight where you still can get the super amount of experience for your pets in the team. And then in Legion, they came up with that weekly event that was long weekend from Friday to Monday or Tuesday first, and then they extended it to the entire week.
Right.
Where they came up with the Pet Battle Week, where they increased experience. And when those two overlap, when the
Squirt Day and the Pet Battle Week.
Yeah, exactly. When Squirt Day and Pet Battle Week overlap, when you get the super amount of XP from each fight for fighting the Squirt fights, plus you get 200% additional XP for your pets.
Combined with a safari hat, and I believe Lita uses pet treats. She saves all her pet treats for that day.
Oh, okay.
You can get 50 and 25%, so 75% additional from using pet treats.
Wow.
So that's a crap ton of experience. And you can do that all day, all week. No, all day.
All day on Friday, yeah.
Yeah, all day on Friday, from reset to reset.
That only applies for people who want over 1,000 level 25 pets. Which is exactly where Lita's going.
Yeah.
Lita's going to level everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's basically, I heard from people that were taking off work, days off work to they apply for because if you go to a website that is called WarcraftPets.com, they have an entire list of, in this case, for now, January through July of 2019, where they list the Squirt days and the Super Squirt days.
Based on, and I guess based on where people live and whatnot, and how many people are mad levelers on the server, it affects your ranking on WarcraftPets.com. How many you have at max level, and how many varieties.
Yeah.
Right.
And how many blues and all that stuff.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is the last one for this. I'm not sure. We had one in December. That was the last one on the US side, and on the EU side, there was February 17th, followed by April 3rd. right next to each other almost, like 2 months apart, which was like almost unbelievable. And like I said, with the US, we had to wait from December to May,
Right.
for them to align again. But here we are, next Friday, May the 24th. Is your chance to level some of your pets that you want to use for new battles. You want to use for the new upcoming Stratholme pet battle dungeon, the new one we get in 8.2. 8.1.5 gave us, 8.1, 8.1.5, 8.1, I think, gave us Gnomrigan. And now with 8.2, we get Stratholme as a pet battle dungeon. So I would imagine people want to level their pets that are good against undead. So if you still have any pets that need to be leveled that are powerful against undead, that's what I would do. Yeah, and about what else there is going on this week, there isn't really much besides that. The only thing that I could think of was next week, Monday, is when we're going to have Glowcap Festival with Little Sporegar in Zangermarsh. But beyond that, there's not really much going on this week with regards to special events. So, yeah, there's that. If you want to talk about some other things going on, we could quickly talk about Wednesday, which is the 22nd. And that is a day, the 22nd and 23rd this month are the 2 days where we are going to see vanilla server stress tests happening.
Right.
So for now, we only have the normal beta invites. But I would imagine that, I'm not sure about this, but if I was Blizzard, I would invite the people that they intend to be part of the stress test a day early, meaning tomorrow, and then let them download the client and prepare the client for play. I think it's going to be way smaller than our normal client because there is so much less content. There is only Azeroth, as in only Eastern Kingdoms and Kalimdor. No Pandaria, no Northrend, no Maelstrom in the middle, no Kata zones, part of Kalimdor and Eastern Kingdom. So there's so much less content if you compare the two games. I'm not sure if you need more more data or how much more data you need for all the high-res stuff compared with the reworked over the years, the better graphics, how much that affects the data that is, but
Sorry.
but I think it's going to be way smaller. In my opinion, without the 50 plus gigabytes that we have now on our client for retail, it would surprise me if the client for Classic would be bigger than 20 gigabytes. It would surprise me a lot because, like I said, what do we have now? We have Cataclysm, rework. You have to subtract the 5 zones from the 2 base continents. That's like 1 continent together.
Right.
You have to subtract Northrend and Pandaria.
Yeah.
And you have to subtract the 2 Draenors. So that's like 5 patches of content that you need to subtract. So that's like 2 of 7 remaining, roughly. So I would say 15 to 20 gigabytes of content, and that's probably, yeah.
Well, back in the day, you used to download on multiple CDs.
Oh, yeah.
Long time ago.
Yeah, long time ago.
Because there were no DVDs back then. Or no, 2004, there were DVDs, but it was meant for bigger games. Because not all computers have DVDs.
I think I remember the first game we got on DVD was Wrath. I think so.
Well, I remember patching a game and reading a patch note saying, if you paid for online, then don't install the disc because the disc is actually reversing a patch. I did it wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to, back in the day when you had to like install from disk and then update, that was, yeah. I remember when the son of my then girlfriend got the game.
Yeah.
He got the game a couple of months after I did, and he already had 1 more CD. He had 5 CDs versus my 4.
Right.
So, and that was in 2005, 2006. So already back then you were going up with 4 and 5 CDs, and that was, and then obviously it was like, it was unpacked and installed and all that. So, yeah, but again, I'm.
You're just suggesting that they just load it up beforehand so that not wasting prime time.
Yep, exactly.
Loading it in. Yeah, that makes sense.
Any one of you intends to play that game?
I don't have this necessarily skill set or patience.
Brilliant.
I'm not sure if I have even the space. Although I may dabble just to be the sacrifice for our group. Are you going to play it?
Oh yes, definitely.
Oh, okay. What was I thinking? So that's going to be interesting, and hopefully they'll hear you. But chances are, sometimes stuff loads in the background, and we don't even know it. So,
yeah, I know for one that I watched some players on the Twitch stream the other day playing a hunter, and that was fun watching people play vanilla hunters.
I can bet, yeah.
Because the hunters played so differently back then.
Now, I mean, is it like, are they going to be counting their arrows and all that good stuff? Yeah.
Arrows or bullets, depending
Depending
upon
on
your
which-
weapon type.
Right,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
You need to take into account that you don't get a pet until 10 or 20.
10, right. And you have to feed your pet.
That's not even the worst thing. The worst
The
thing,
pet has to be in a good mood.
yeah, that too. Depending upon its mood, it does less damage. If it's not in a good mood, yes.
And also, doesn't it have to like bond with the hunter?
I'm not sure about
Okay.
that. That would be a RP thing.
Okay.
No, what I wanted to get at.
What you wanted to say, and I kept interrupting. Go ahead, get it out, Grand Negus. We're on our edge of our seats.
What I'm trying to say is people forget the dead zone that the hunter had back then.
Oh, right.
You see, with the hunter back then, you had a minimum range, distance.
Right. You had to jump back. In fact, wasn't there one skill thing you could use at one time that would push you back?
That disengage, you still
Right.
have that.
Oh, you still
yeah.
have that. Okay.
But to do range damage, you had to be at I think 8 yards away,
Yeah.
and then
Otherwise, you do like Solana's. You whip out the dagger with Arthas coming in for the kill.
But then, once you are closer than 8 yards, you can't necessarily do melee damage yet because the
There's a
opponent
2 feet.
is too far away.
Right. Yeah.
So there is this dead zone from roughly 8 to 5 yards distance. Those 3 yards are the dead zone. And
Well, I remember my friend in Wrath cocking his gun, firing, then twirling because all the animation had to end up somewhere, right, between the shots, because there's not every weapon has the same weapon speed.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, sure. And that was a big thing too. Especially if you had a fast weapon, fast gun or bow, you were obviously doing more damage, obviously, because you fired shots off faster. But on the other hand, you were spending your ammunition faster
Right.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whenever people got faster guns,
Yeah.
they didn't take that to account.
Yeah.
And if they had like a limited amount of ammunition, they hadn't restocked. That was part of the reason why people ran out of ammunition. So, yeah, so hunters are a great way to really find out what vanilla playing is, because they are so fundamentally different. And also, you have to skill up all your weapon skills. So whenever you change weapons types, like say you started with a bow,
Yeah.
and at level 15 or whatnot,
Yeah.
all of a sudden you find a crossbow or a gun that's way better.
Yeah.
Oops, you didn't skill those weapon types yet. So you start at skill 1 where you already were at 50, 60 with your bow. So you missed, you maybe a glancing blow or stuff like that. So you didn't do as much damage there either. So there are so many aspects there that the old style of gaming, of playing WoW, had still built in before they, quote unquote, nerfed the whole thing, that I really find are, and many people said that when they changed it back in the day, that it's so much less RP, so much less role play, so much less identification with your character. It's so much more watered down that people really lost the connection to the character.
Right.
Because all this learning to do what you do, learning to it's the same thing with your profession. You learn to do the small, easy things first, and while you skill up, then when you skill up, you can do and craft the more difficult items.
Right.
And the same thing, in my opinion, should happen with your character, and that is one reason why I look forward so much to playing classic again. Like with the rogue, you have, or with any character that buffs, you need to use reagents to buff.
Right.
You can't just hit the button and then it does X, Y, or Z. You need to have arcane runes if you want to buff intellect. You need to have sacred candles if you want to buff stamina for the priest.
Right.
You need all these different reagents for the different classes. If you're a mage and you jump off a ledge and hit your button to slow fall, but you didn't kill enough birds to get light feathers, and you ran out of light feathers, you're going to plummet to your death. Because as hard as you hit, or as much as you hit that slow fall button, if you don't have a light feather, it ain't gonna work. So that's the thing. I think that the vanilla game had so much more. Is flair the right term? I'm not sure.
Attitude.
Okay. Excuse me?
Attitude, or je ne sais quoi.
No.
Flavor.
Yeah. It's so many nuances that you have to think of. With the rogue, if you nowadays at level whatever, you drag your poison to your poison weapon to your button, and then you hit the button, and that's it.
Yeah.
In vanilla, learning how to craft poison before you then could craft them, let alone apply them, is an entirely separate profession, only available obviously for rogues.
Right. And
it is a class profession, similar to alchemy, obviously, but you had to learn to craft your poisons.
And soul shards.
Soul shards, oh yeah. I mean, that's relatively easy. That's just another reagent.
Right.
But But the whole.
But you had to always remember to collect it, though.
Oh, yes.
There were times you
yes.
would go to kill somebody and you went, damn, I didn't suck his soul.
Yep.
Huh.
Right.
So,
exactly.
yeah, it was all the timing. There's a lot
Yeah.
more to, in other words, there was a lot more to think about.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't just click the button that's shining right now. Ooh, did I say that?
Yeah. And that's another thing. I wonder
About add-ons.
what their take on add-ons will be. Yes.
Right. Will there be people making vanilla add-ons?
Oh, obviously, of course.
Yeah.
Of course there will be. The thing is, the good thing with vanilla add-ons will be that once they are done and once all the bugs are eliminated, they won't need to come out with a new version every other patch, because there aren't going to be any more patches. That's the one thing that we're going to get is the thing we're going to get.
Right. So you could make a really good and update a really good add-on, knowing that you don't have to worry about instabilities. But at the same time, if you have an add-on that no one's updating, it's going to be valid forever.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Awesome.
And that's one of the nice things that I see happening. One of the reasons why people want to create add-ons is that they don't, quote unquote, need to go and what is it? Go and
relearn what they've already learned before.
Yeah, no, that's not what I wanted to say. Is they don't need to keep it updated and keep the maintenance on it.
Right.
So that's
should attract a lot more add-ons then. Hopefully.
Yeah. let's see what that's going to.
Okay.
I would think that many of the people that make the functioning add-ons for retail WoW are going to make vanilla versions of it.
Right, but I'm also thinking about the person who wants to dabble in add-ons but don't want, to get stuck with having to worry about not being able to keep it updated. Because,
Yep.
now it's, you could create something, you could make it something that would work very well with vanilla WoW, and then you're done. Other than, and it might, so what I'm saying is it might be a way for some people to get their foot in the door without the obligation of constantly worrying about, this update broke the add-on, can you fix it? So that was my take on it, but I could
but
be
you're right, obviously, that you just need to have it be right once.
right, correct.
So there's that, and for me, like I said, I really like the fact that I can come back to play the old content. That's for me. I've said that so many times, and I can only repeat it 100 more times. I really like the fact that we can now play in the old world again, in the pre-cataclysm world, with all the quests that we did back then, that is available again. And I can finally start down in the crypts again with my Forsaken.
Of course, for the first
Right.
for the first time.
For the first time. Everything old is new again.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
Yep.
right. Well, good. I'm looking forward to it.
So am I.
All right.
I've had a fantastic weekend. Wow. It's very comforting. Those battlegrounds where you're not necessarily putting out more damage, but you feel like you're contributing more by pushing all the buttons all at once. Bad boy. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
Constructs, how's your weekend WoW been?
My week's been pretty good. I've had a couple of days to play as much as I wanted, and I've had a couple of days where I was just way too tired to play, so I had to mix in between the two what I was where I was going to spend my time, and it was fairly fruitful as far as leveling. Thanks to Grand Negus, last week I got my mage to level 40, so I can teleport my my alts around without having to walk so much. And of course, I did the thing you usually do. You go out adventuring without big bags, so your bags are immediately full. And then you go out adventuring without training, so you don't know the next thing to smelt. And then you go adventuring and you forget to bring any food, so you have to summon your yak to sell you the cheap food, so at least you can heal yourself a little bit,
right?
And without a healer, so like it's like everything I could have done wrong to level, I did. So there's days where I just couldn't focus on 3 characters. So what I would do instead is I would kind of pick one of my high level characters and I would just do incursions. And that way, like there were people killing the stuff for me, I just had to put my dot or make sure that I could just keep up. And it was not too complicated, because sometimes you just want to mess around and not think about it too much. You want to watch a movie while you're doing something else.
Right. Yeah.
And, when you're leveling high level and it's like your first time leveling through, you're paying attention to every quest and everything everybody's saying. When it's your 8th or 9th or 12th or 15th time leveling through the same content, you're like, can I just skip to the parts where I get lots and lots of XP and then I can work on my professions? Because I'm one of those guys that likes the auction house, and I like to kind of level everything at the same time. And this time around, I'm struggling because the 3-star system is really messing up with my way of doing things. I need reputation for the 3-star recipes, and normally I would be able to do reputation on 2 or 3 characters, but now I have to do reputation on 7 to 11 characters. It's just a little bit too daunting.
Yes.
And then like I know there's going to be different things coming where I'm not going to need to have every single thing done, because I'm going to be doing that thing where you level multiple characters with multi-boxing. And multi-boxing, basically you have one guy do the bulk of the damage and you have the 2 other guys. Like I'm multi-boxing 3 characters right now. I have no range there. Well, I have the mage, which is range, but that's the only real like character that doesn't need to be close to the target. Everybody else kind of needs to like mine or whatnot, or there's some plants or whatnot that are trying to get XP by picking up the plants or whatnot. So it's kind of strange because I'm not able to do the thing where they all pick at the same time because they're both low level, or the 3 characters are here I have a thing where I have 2 characters in combat and I'm not able to do anything with the 3rd one because I'm actually like 2 is about my multi-boxing limit. I would have to do something like Jeppy where I use Jamba
Right.
And I have like, extra buttons on like a glove or something because I'm continuously doing follow, and then it's situational which character goes into combat, and I rotate around which one is trying to get herbs or mine ore, and then I forget to train for the ore. But in the old world, it's not so difficult because in the old world you can go all the way up 300 before you have to train. Like you can pick up the later ores. You just get fragments if you're not at a skill level.
In that level, right.
Yeah. So I just have to remember when I'm mining or when I'm herbing to do it on 2 characters, and then when I'm mining, pull combat. I pull combat basically because I have characters who are too little, so they draw from like a really far away distance.
Right.
And
you have a high aggro.
Yeah, I don't have like an exit strategy where everybody follows the big tank character at the front. So ideally, like I would have stealth characters, or I would have a Skinner, and then I would have like one of every profession, or I would have them all mining or all herbing. But I'm not able to concentrate to that level, if that makes sense. Because I want to level a priest, I want to level a mage, and I want to level like a rogue. So none of those classes are particularly suited for tanking. Currently, I've got my I went adventuring without big bags, so I brought a character along just in case, because I had the feeling that I was going to mess it up. So I brought it along an extra bag, and as soon as I started fighting, it's like, yeah, I don't have any bag space. Okay, so it's good that I had this extra character to have bag space with. Like, it's good when you can put like your 3 instances of the game one beside the other, because you can sort of see all the maps at the same time. Unfortunately, I think I want to redo how I do my my tracking, because I'm probably going to have to use an add-on like the one that lets you reset anywhere where all your maps or all your components are of the game. I forget the name of the add-on, but I've loaded the leveling add-on, but I still have to work out a strategy to get all my characters to exalted in their guild. In the guild, one of the guilds that I made, I called the guild Deadpool. Somebody rocked up and said, "Cool name, man."
Aw, that's nice.
It was funny. Like, it's just a little something to keep me distracted, and it's mostly gnomes in that guild, so it's like, it's funny. It's just something for them to be. They're not killable. They can heal from any injury, and I have my Gnome Warlock on Thorium Brotherhood that I'm going to try and level sometime this week. I don't know when I'm going back to work, but I figure when I go back to work, I'm going to have a lot less time to do everything I want to do. So I got to make the most of my gaming right now while I'm off work. I'm not able to do much on the auction house because I invested too much of my gold buying silly things like other games and the toys that I was talking about on the last show, the ones that keep popping up as gifts. I spent too much money on all the things. Probably gonna have a good game of Warcraft 3 when it's enabled. I think it's still down for now. I bought Nova on
StarCraft 2?
No, the Nexus thing.
Oh,
I bought Nova. She was on sale 50%. I'm like, man, that's a bargain. And next page, Illidan was on sale for half price. I was like, that's a bargain too. So I scooped that one up too, because there's people that just mow through all the mobs with just Illidan, or like a well-placed Nova is just like really, really good to harass. other characters. So I'm gonna try and play some Heroes of the Storm at some point and see if I can't be like a champ. Demolish with those two. Nice person here shows me how to get to the ore. Thank you. It's my little gnome couldn't figure out how to get up the hill, and the person would fly on one of those moose. Charge up the hill like 1 second. He was all the way up the hill. I was like, oh, thank you. Makes it easy for me. And I'm trying to get to the ore now because he got the. Oh no, there's no ore. It's just a plant. Okay, no worries. So yeah, that's pretty much my week. Nothing good on the auction house front, and as far as the,
I'm going to give away a little bit of my content. I did some auction housing, because I make the Hexweave bags. I was very. They're all over. They're under 1,000 now. Used to be like 15 or 2,000. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Yes. It's because the BFA bags are 30 slots and 32 slots. So.
Right. Well, even when they came out for a while there, it was both. Yeah. But yeah,
I'm on other servers and I still buy those for cheap. 1,600 is not a bad price.
Right. All right. And that's
also, one thing, if I can quickly talk about what Constructs just said with regards to farming, with regards to picking herbs and picking up some ore from deposits. If you think that just because you are done with your gathering profession now in BFA, that means that you are at max level for BFA, you are mistaken. Mm-hmm. Because for the first time in WoW history, a patch will increase the maximum level of the gathering professions. Mm-hmm. So 8.2 will, I'm not sure if it's going to be 25 or 50 skill levels. I think it's 25, it might be 50, I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. I think they said 175 will be the new max once 8.2 comes out. And we are why that is that we are going to get a new ore type and a new herb type that are exclusive to the new zones that we're going to get.
Yeah.
So Mechagon and Nashatar.
To me, that doesn't generate excitement in the sense that it's like when we had titanium, a cooldown on making titanium. Or Titan Steel. I leveled 2 miners to make some gold with that, and the day I finished leveling the second miner, they removed the cooldown. just because they give us something doesn't mean that there's a strategic advantage. It's just like
not saying that
another hamster wheel.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's a novelty. They haven't done it before.
Right.
That form of.
If I can make $1.5 million gold off of that.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day of Legion, we got the new Legion, the new Argus plant and ore.
Yeah.
But we didn't get more skill points.
Yeah, I didn't really do anything with the Legion ones.
I'm just saying they didn't.
Okay, it's another thing to find.
Just because they introduced a new type of ore and herb before doesn't mean that they've increased the skill cap before. Yeah. So I think that's a really interesting way to increase the playability.
Right. Can I ask you, how do you get the Black War Mammoth? I don't have that one.
Oh, you get that from Vaults of Akavon.
Is it 15 currency? Like the...
Oh, it's a drop.
Oh, okay.
It's a drop from the boss's 25 man in Vaults of Akavon.
Okay.
There is a mount out there that you can buy for the currency.
Yeah. I think I've already
But
got
it's
the
not
currency.
the Black War Mammoth. The Black War Mammoth is the drop. It's the woolly mammoth something.
The Grand Woolly Mammoth is the Sons of Odir rep.
Okay. Okay, so let me just see. The woolly mammoth is the normal one you buy. Traveler's mammoth is an ice mammoth. Is the one for Sons of Odir.
Yeah.
The ice mammoth. Grand ice mammoth is another Odir. Grand Black War Mammoth is the Vault of Akavon, and the Black War Mammoth is the one. Okay, so yeah, the Black War Mammoth is the one that you buy with 15 marks of honor, and the Grand Black War Mammoth is the one I was referring to in Vault of Akavon.
Right.
All right.
That just dropped the third time for me a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously you can't trade the thing.
But it'd be great if you could.
Even if you are in a party with that person, with someone, if you get it, you get it.
Right.
It's not tradable.
Right.
So, yeah.
I did a few runs of Elegon. I did a few runs of ICC. I did a few runs of the Pandaria bosses, but alas, no loot, no mounts for nobody.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I talked about my Zulian Panther last week, did I?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good. Just couldn't remember exactly when I got it, but yeah, it was last week or week before. Yeah, that was the latest new mount that I got.
All right.
Okay.
And that's been your week?
It sure has.
Okie dokie.
I'm sort of distracted. My 3 characters are constantly in combat because the little rogue is drawing things from really far away. So I'm just not able to avoid combat, which is good. I mean, I get some XP. I get some loot out of it. I just killed a rare, and I dinged. As soon as I killed the rare, I dinged on the rogue. So I'm kind of happy about that.
Awesome.
Nice. That's not bad.
Oh, excellent. Oh. How you doing? I get excited. I get giddy and love making mini alts. My dog is trying to poop for the Horde and for the Alliance. It was funny in my head.
Brilliant. How was your weekend? Wow.
Well, right now it's very frustrating. I'm trying to do this another one of these stupid pillar quests with the lights, and one of the pillars is not clickable.
No. What kind of pillars?
Moonshine Sanctum. I'm supposed to be turning these lights towards the seal, break the seal.
Oh yeah.
But one of them, the one that's supposed to shine the purple light, isn't clickable. So I am and I'm clicking all over. So it must be.
Did you turn? You always have these 2 pillars that you need to turn that are far around the corner. There are 2 beams.
Right.
Yeah, and the beams go over to the other side.
No, it's not that one. I know which one you're talking about. It's not that one. This one is just one room. I know the ones you're talking about where you have to go to another room, but this is just, there's no other room here. Okay. And I even looked it up on YouTube, which is sad. We have to do homework. came. And according to YouTube, that other beam is supposed to be clickable. Maybe I need to find, but even in the, how you can look up. And it's really nice that we have such a community. I know it's similar to the one at Power Grid, but this one, the video it's the one I'm supposed to click isn't there. I'll figure it out. But as for the rest of my week, I am again multi-boxing with April and Aprillian, which has been interesting and fun and satisfying because I really hate when I run past a node and I can't tap it, or a plant and I can't pick it. So now we can do April's a miner, Aprillian is a herbalist. We're in Nightfallen. Speaking of which, I've been doing a lot of world quests, or I don't know if they're world quests, but quests for Nightfallen, and I am currently up to 8,449 into Honored.
Ooh, nice.
So yeah, I'm getting close. I can feel it. I will definitely buy the tabard, but that's only for going into instances. So
no, tabard is, you only get an exalted on that one, I think.
Huh?
It's a transmog.
Yep.
Tabard.
Oh,
Yep.
it doesn't give you anything. Oh, what the heck?
All the Legion and above ones are all. I think even the Draenor ones don't give you anything.
Oh wow.
The Ramkayan one was like the super duper awesome one because you got that one early and could just run instances to death.
Yeah.
So I am figuring out, there's more than just feeding the mana and getting that stuff up. So I'm kind of having fun with that. I've been leveling playing with different tunes and bringing in tunes whenever I can. And mostly just spending a lot of time collecting mana and managing it because I actually went over.
Yeah.
And then it feels stupid when you start picking it and it's not, the numbers aren't going up. Yep. I've been back to my garrison a few times. That's how come I made some bags. And I've actually gone and because I'm out here doing world quests, I'm getting honor.
Nice.
I'm getting order resources.
Yeah.
So I was able to go back to Dalaran for Aprillian and I don't know. I'm getting XP. That's all I care. It's putting out some of those.
I tried to one-shot an elite for 600 order hall resources on my druid, and the druid was 113, and I could not do it. The elite just kept smacking me into the ground. You need to be a little bit higher, or the scaling has to be different, I think.
And speaking of getting smacked into the ground, I'm in war mode because you get that extra 10%. And, And I wish I'd taken a screenshot. An Alliance tune, level 116. Aprillian's level 113. Showed up while she was just completing quest and started smacking the mess out of her. I held my own for a little while. I almost had it. And but he killed me. I don't know. Do you actually go after Alliance tunes when you're just out questing? Or other factions?
Depends. If you see a big group, it's not recommended. But if it's one-on-one, it's fair game.
Ooh, I just... War mode. I'm playing with War mode too, just now.
Yeah.
I was killing one of the named mobs here that I needed to kill for my objective. And a 120. I'm 99, and the 120 mage came in, opposite faction.
Yeah.
And started whacking at me. and I was just about to attack that named.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, we can do that. It was like a split decision. I went and Avenger shielded
Yeah.
the named,
Yeah.
and then hit my bubble, my divine shield, and my lay on hands.
Oh yeah.
What
What happened? I
happened?
healed up to full, obviously.
Right?
I was protected by the divine shield.
Yeah.
The mage came in and one-shot the mob for me after I tagged it, and then flew off.
Oh.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, no desire for conflict. That's all right.
No, but she whacked on me before I pulled. So
Right, right. So,
was-
yeah, but then she realized she wasn't going to win it.
I mean, she would have had she just waited 6 seconds or what,
Right.
8 seconds for however long my shield had lasted me. But still, it was okay. I was, yeah, no, that was kind of okay. I can't be bothered with a measly 99 that protects herself. So yeah. No, that was really cool. I like that the way that played out. Okay, back to you.
Oh, no. And now I'm just running around Suriname. April just got Explore Suriname, so that's Suramar, so that's nice. Yeah, has it brilliant have that yet?
I need one more treasure to Dreadnought treasure to Ding 100. So I'm very close now.
Yeah.
And that's been my week.
I find it very, very easy to be true. Am allerschönsten war es doch zu Haus, und doch zog mich einst in die Welt hinaus. Und in der Ferne suchte ich mein Glück, wer kennt den Weg zurück.
And now it's time for Add-on Spotlight and a whole bunch of other things with Grand Negus. What do you have for us this week, Grand Negus? And how was your weekend?
What do I have? I have, let's start with the add-on. I have, as you know, I've been talking about WoW Pro for quite a while. The guide add-on.
Right.
The other day, or a week or so ago, I talked with someone, a fellow streamer, that advised me that there is another add-on that is not only a guide add-on for zones, but is basically a add-on that guides you through the entire leveling process.
Oh, wow.
By telling you exactly where to go, when to go, where, and so forth. So today, I'm going to talk about Azeroth Autopilot.
I'm laughing because we now have cars that do shuttles with no pilot. So now we're going to have autopilot on this. Wait, go ahead.
Azeroth Autopilot is a speed leveling add-on for World of Warcraft.
Nice.
If you plan to get from 20, which is the beginning level to use the add-on, to 120 as fast as possible, this is the add-on for you. This is the commercial thingy that I've copied and that I'm reading from.
Okay.
Why would you start at level 20, not at level 1, you might ask?
Because level 1 is, you get to know your character better.
Nope.
No? Okay.
It's because levels 1 through 20 pass are balanced around heirlooms and war mode. And war mode starts at level 20.
Level 20, yeah.
So what I do now is I use my WoW Pro add-on to get to level 20, and then I add the Azeroth autopilot to the mix.
Right.
It has some interesting features. It has some features that WoW Pro has as well. Some things that I didn't use with WoW Pro that it has, but let me just elaborate a little.
Okay.
You always start at Orgrimmar or Stormwind, depending upon your faction. When you start the leveling process for one expansion, it will tell you the path of zones that you need to go through to reach the next expansion set level. So 20 to 60, 60 to 80, 80 to 90, 90 to 100, and so forth. And there is a little box on the lower end of the window where it tells you the exact route you're supposed to take.
Now, do you have to start off at 20, or can you start off at any?
You can start at any point that is higher than 20 if you want to. If your tune is level 38, when you activate the add-on for the first time, it will automatically take into account that level and calculate the variable that needs to be applied for you to get to the max level. If you've already quested in zones or quested through zones that are part of the mix of areas that the add-on wants you to do, it's going to tag them off as green.
Okay.
Where the ones that you haven't done it are obviously going to be red. So what the add-on basically will do, it will, if you let it, skip cutscenes. You can use hotkeys or macros to use items like target macros and use macros. For example, the other day I played through Ashara, and when I was on the beach, there's the quest where you have to resurrect fallen soldiers. And whenever you mouse over one of the NPCs that you then have to go to and get resurrected, they're the add-on will mark these individual NPCs, which is a macro, a targeting macro that the add-on sets up for you to use. It will automatically use, which is really nifty. I like that. Which shows you where to go. That's like the point arrow, the TomTom interaction. It also has a dotted line feature where it will have a dotted line marking the shortest distance between you and the next waypoint you need to go to, which is visually interesting to have this little green dot or these multiple green dots moving from your position to the waypoint position. which the WoW Pro doesn't have. Just has a little multicolor circle that indicates the waypoint, but it doesn't have a directional dotted line feature. So again, there's like one thing that I like with that. It tells you what to do, like quest objectives. Asks if you want to do group quests or skip them. And that's another awesome feature. It auto takes flight paths on quest path. So whenever you need to go from say you need to start from Stormwind and you need to fly to the rebel camp in northern Stranglethorn. You get the waypoint marker that tells you go to the flight master, and then normally you go to the flight master, click on him, the map opens, and you click on the respective flight path, and then you fly off.
Right.
With the add-on active, you just talk to the flight master, and the add-on will automatically know that you need to go to northern Stranglethorn, and it will automatically put you on the flight immediately. You don't have to look at the map, and you don't have to mouse over and click the flight path point. It will just do it for you, which is really cool. It auto talks to NPCs when there is a dialogue that you need to follow, which can be tricky. Just now, I had this issue where I have the add-on active, and I wanted to skip the introduction quest to go into the scenario to go to the Broken Shore.
Yeah.
The add-on apparently wants you to go through that scenario, so it automatically chooses the option to go that path. So I had to go and disable the add-on and then manually abandon the quest and then choose the option to skip it. So be aware that sometimes the add-on has its own mind. That can vary that can be different than your own. So yeah. I would imagine the same thing would be true with the Battle for Azeroth thing, and the Draenor one as well. So be aware that that is an issue. Chose buttons for quests with usable items, so that WoW Pro does that too, where you have unused items that you need to say you carry a bomb or you do whatever a quest requires you to use an item. Those items will have, most of them will have their own buttons that you don't have to drag and drop the item. You can just click the button that they use. Also, it indicates that to complete the guide the way that the add-on intends, the Horde needs 40 Goblin Gliders or so, roughly. So it's nice to mention that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically it tells you where to go. I like the add-on. There are things that are different than WoW Pro, especially, like I said, the auto flight point thing. The other thing with the with the auto talk to can be tricky, like I just mentioned. So beware of that. I don't really like it that much. Another thing I want to say is that it will take the most efficient path to level a character. That path is always going to stay the same. By definition, the most efficient is the most efficient.
Right.
So, if you are prepared as an alcoholic to level the 100th alt through the same 5 zones per expansion, okay. If you want variety, be aware that it's still going to put you in the same zones, the same zones. If it's how much Ashara, in my case, I played through Ashara twice now. I'm about to do it a third time if I were to use the add-on within 2 weeks now. And I haven't played through Ashara for God knows how many years before. I think I played through Ashara twice since Kata came out before 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So how much of one zone can you take over and over and over?
Right.
That's another thing that you want to take into account. And that's another reason why I like WoW Pro, is that you can pick and choose the zone you want to play in.
Right.
It might take you a little longer, obviously, since if you vary from the path, again, it's not the optimal thing. But you have variety in your play. And we all know that it doesn't matter what game you play, what task you do, repetition makes things go stale.
Yeah.
Very fast. And I'm not sure that you need to force that staleness to come sooner than it already does. So there is that aspect you need to take into account as well. Yeah, that's the add-on Azeroth Autopilot. With regards to my week, I haven't really done much this week. I've streamed a bit. I leveled a few characters, played some things, geared my rogue to 390 now, roughly.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And my Ladforged Draenei just 15 minutes ago hit level 100.
Oh, congrats.
Nice.
Thank you. So I'm off to getting the Protection Paladin artifact weapon now. And yeah, that's and then we're merrily into Legion content. And the Legion timer is...
Which of the expansions, in your opinion, goes by too quickly?
Goes by too quickly?
Yeah, which one are you having fun and then before you know it, it's over?
I haven't had that problem at all, so...
That's a good question.
Yeah.
For me, I find Lich King is like over in like 2 or 3 dungeons. It's like,
Oh, I see what you're saying, yeah.
I don't even happen. Like if you don't jump into it at 60, if you wait till 70, 2 or 3 dungeons, you're done.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. From too fast, I can't say. I would say for me, it's more about how much time do I want to spend in an area.
Yeah.
If I want to spend more time there, if I want to, I have these preferences. Obviously,
Yeah.
Right.
when I start leveling in Northrend,
Yeah.
I like to play Alliance. I like to play through the whole quest chain with the Winter Guard,
Yeah. Yeah.
with all the in Dragonblight with the flight the waypoint there, the hub.
Right.
All that history revolving around Arthas, him obtaining Frostmourne and the coast there, and then leading up to Wrathgate. I really like the Horde side quest chain.
Yeah.
The quest chain on the on the Alliance side. The Horde side is more about the Blight.
Yeah.
And
I was never able to finish Gundrak. I tried many times. I always end up quitting somewhere in there. Like there's something about the zone that I can't put my finger on it. It just I think when you go up into the crypt, the flying crypt, I lose at that point. I don't know what to do.
Populous, yeah.
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 Everything else in Northrend is enjoyable. It's just that one part of the expansion is
personal preference, sure.
Yeah.
Right.
I must say, from a standpoint, from the fact that I like to play both sides.
Yeah.
There isn't really a zone that I don't like. With Zuldrak,
yeah,
it's all about. For me, it's all about the Lich King. It's all about the Death Knights.
Yeah,
that's how I look at it. With the Sarian and all of that. For the others, I like the Alliance version of the Storm Peaks better.
Yeah.
Because it's the reunification of Moradin and Bran.
Yeah.
Up in the Frosthold. Ice Crown, I don't know. It really, again, it's for me, it's more the DK side.
Right.
And the faction issue. There are all the Death Knights over on the West Coast, over by the Overlook and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the basin,
right?
Sholazar Basin with the Freya aspect, the avatar of Freya,
right?
Rather than the other things there, and the whole Titan involvement. I like with With the Borean Tundra, I'm not sure. I like the way, and that takes us to BFA again with Garrosh and with Varrock Sourfang. The way that Sourfang talks to Garrosh and the character that Varrock is compared to what he is now in BFA is, and then the Horde, that's the Horde side, and then the Alliance side with all the Mechanome lore, all the Mechanome stuff at the airport there. That's something. Then you have the tree stuff in Grizzly Hills,
right?
Where for the first time you learn about the corruption even before you get to Storm Peaks and Ulduar, where you get to see that Yogg-Saron has his tendrils has had it in the tree that they cut down, that you have the three pieces of.
Yeah.
And Vordrasil, and then the last zone for me is is from a Forsaken standpoint isn't a debate at all. It's not even up for debate, because Howling Fjord is because it's Forsaken heavy.
Yeah.
It's obviously my favorite part.
The music for that zone is so good. I did all the work to get the Mech-Engineer chopper, and you have to fly the bombing run over and over.
Yep.
So I totally relate to that zone being cool.
So long story short, there isn't really something where I could say that it's over too fast. Normally I pick and choose one or two zones and do them, and by then I'm done with the expansion content. So it's not really that I could say that it's over too fast.
Cool. No. All right. So what else do you have for us?
There isn't. I don't think there really is much to talk about, except for the fact that we can talk a little more about 8.2, where we have. Well, I talked about the updated professions already.
Mm-hmm.
But we have a couple of weeks apparently still to go before 8.2 comes out. I'm thinking, I was hoping it was going to come out next week, but that's definitely not going to happen, because they got their hands full with the stress test now.
Right.
Yeah.
For Classic and all that stuff. So might have to wait a week or two more. But I really, really look forward to all the new content that we are going to get in 8.2. Also, one more thing I wanted to mention about the stress test is that there are going to be three stress tests, May, June, and July. Yeah, I'm not sure about the dates, but we're going to remind people in time so you don't miss them. You might, or you most likely will not be able to play the closed beta after you've been participating in the stress test should you be invited to it, because they are apparently they really want to keep it small and tight knit.
Yeah.
Which I can totally understand. They might bring in some more people as time goes on, like they do so often. But yeah, and it still, and again, it doesn't mean that if you are part of the first stress test, it doesn't mean that you're going to be part of the second and or third either. So, yeah. But I'm really hoping, obviously, that I can play my Forsaken tomorrow. I surely hope so, and it's going to be awesome. I'm going to stream. If that should happen, I'm definitely going to stream it.
Cool.
So that is a thing. Beyond that, I really don't think that I listened to the Law Watch podcast earlier before we came on air.
Yeah.
And again, they have such interesting stuff they talked about. I get it a week earlier because I'm a Patreon follower there. So you guys have, if you want to listen to it, you have to wait another week.
Or sign up for their Patreon. I'm sure it's on their
sign up
website.
for the Patreon. We don't want to, but it's really, and if you have people that are really knowledgeable,
right,
talk about stuff that might happen.
Yeah.
You come up with the wildest tinfoil head theories, and the more you think about it, at least for me, the more realistic it becomes. But still, we don't know that Blizzard has that direction in mind, obviously. So until stuff happens, we don't know if it happens, or we don't know when it's going to happen. If
it's going to happen.
Yeah. If we know that it's going to happen, we don't know that when it's going to happen. So there are so many different things that the last two episodes have been, they've just blown my mind with all the things that I want to see. And I'm just going to mention one thing, and that's the fact that people have such low regards of Cataclysm. People say that they don't, it's like quite a few people's most or least favorite expansion, let's put it that way. And but if half of what they talked about over the last two episodes there, and what is on the horizon now with BFA and the following expansion and the story, the lore that's developing. If half of what they talk about and how it might happen happens, then Blizzard has played the long game ever since Cataclysm and planted the first seeds of their story that unfolds now, back in Cataclysm. The oh-so shunned expansion. Which is ironic. It's very ironic, because many people that I talk to think that the faction war, they don't like that, and all the friction and all the things that go on now. But they say if stuff happens, it's always like you have the friction between the factions, and then at the end we all come together for the greater purpose, to fight the greater evil.
All right. The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Something like that, yes.
Yeah.
So what happens now with the Night Elves and the Forsaken having to fight side by side after Sylvanas burned down the tree to defeat Ashara?
Yeah.
Because otherwise it doesn't happen. And Ashara is nothing compared to Enthoth, the big baddie, the old god. Mm. There's even more required than just putting the faction war aside for a while.
Right.
So,
like, what happens after?
Yeah. So, and that's just the bare top of the thing that's going to happen. It's like the
tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, not even that. It's like the top layer of 10 molecules of water if you go with a pond that's 1,000 miles deep.
Right.
So it I mean, people that make these stories, that come up with these stories, it's the same way. I know I'm going off topic here a little, but today I watched a video about Star Trek Enterprise, the last Star Trek series that I consider Star Trek, where they talked about the producers, Brendan Braga and what's his face?
On Discovery.
Yeah, Discovery isn't Star Trek for me.
Can I tell you one aside real quick? Every time I see the advertisement for Discovery and I see that Vulcan, I swear it's Prince. But go ahead.
No, they even said the whole Kelvin timeline stuff. It's non-canonic. So why even make it? In my opinion, anyway. They talked about the things that they did wrong and the things that they couldn't figure out, and the friction between the showrunners and the network and all that stuff. And that was a thing where they said we really couldn't get it. We couldn't wrap our hands around it. It didn't work until second season. Brendan Braga said he had to fire all the staff writers after the season.
Yeah.
Enterprise, because it just didn't work. That was Star Trek.
It didn't work for me because of Quantum Leap, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah. So now go to JMS on Babylon 5.
Yeah.
Right.
He had his script, he has his path, he had his story, what he wanted to tell over 4 or 5 years.
Right.
All said.
Oh my God! When Babylon 4 came back.
Before he had all that stuff.
Right, and the fact that the genes were the same.
Yeah, he had the general outlines of it set before he even started rolling the first second of tape a film before he started filming. He knew how the thing would end.
Yeah.
That's the difference. That's the quintessential difference for me. And that's how I can see that Blizzard is an awesome company. Because if what happens, what we think, what the Law Watch people think could happen, if that really happens, they started with that storyline, with the first hints, with the like I said before, they planted the first seeds back in Cataclysm. Yeah. And that was like when? That's like 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like 4 expansions ago. So and even though people didn't like the expansion,
we knew after ICC that the scaling was wrong, because there was 4 different instances you could run a week to all max out your armor and whatnot. But basically, there was going to have to be a nerf at some point, because the game was going to end. We were going to hit the 2 million damage at that point. Past 2 million damage, the integer doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So Blizzard had to change the game to allow us to keep going.
Yeah, but that didn't happen until Pandaria.
But Cataclysm was like the test expansion to redo everything. Let's redo the zones.
Yeah, but
reset,
but the thing is still, and I'm still. I don't want to
oversimplify,
say anything that's wrong, because Blizzard, obviously they know what they're doing apparently.
Yeah.
But there are one thing, and I'm not going by game mechanics, I'm going purely by lore and by content. There is one dungeon we haven't done anything in yet, that has been fundamentally changed in Cataclysm. And that's Black Fathom Deep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And what's in Black Fathom Deep now?
The old gods.
The old gods. Tentacly stuff. So, and what are we about to see now?
Zoth.
And Zoth. What did we see in Storm Song? All tentacly stuff.
Yeah.
They changed it way back then already. So, and I always wondered why they didn't do anything with it. When did we get Stratholm, the revamp of Stratholm? Cataclysm?
I don't remember.
I think so. I think it was 85 Cataclysm. Let me just quickly see. And that was the Infinite Dragonflight.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, where at the end you go and no, it's not. Where is it? Was it even one further?
We got Group Finder for Pittasauron, all our reflections, and then the end game there. But we didn't get a lot more dungeons until Cataclysm came along to really streamline that process.
Yeah. Culling of Stratholm was even a Wrath of the Lich King.
Yeah.
Thing. And there we had the things happen with the Infinite Dragonflight, and even before that, in Burning Crusade, we had the first Caverns of Time dungeons. So there's so many things that I can talk about this for hours, but we don't want to. it's yeah.
It's a slippery slope.
Oh, it's a very, very slippery slope, and I'm so stoked for what's going to happen now. I didn't think it was going to be as interesting, or I didn't think it was going to be interesting in the way that it seems to become interesting with BFA. So, yeah, that's been my week.
Awesome.
I guess it's time for email now.
Email, folks?
Email, email,
La data. You've got mail. Who's next? I'm addicted to you, baby.
Lovely little email. And our email is from Kyle. Hi, Kyle. And Kyle writes, "Hello, Carl. The end of the school year approaches. Students are checking out. Teachers wish they could check out. And it feels like I care a lot more about my students' grades than they do. Arg. My WoW time was spent doing more odds and ends. Well, and that's fine, because that's the best thing about World of Warcraft and the way we play at CARS, that you can play any way you want. There is no right or wrong. Played around the Argent tournament. Oh my God, that's so wrong. No, I'm kidding. Argent tournament is fine. Chili Maw. Remember we used to call it Chili Maw, but it wasn't really. What was it? Anyways, I feel you. Played around with Argent tournament, did some leveling with another alt in Hills, Brad Foothills, and did a handful of current content quests. Today's Blast from the Past is all the way from episode 371. Enjoy. Awesome. All right. Thank you, Kyle. And let's listen to Kyle's Blast from the Past.
All right.
Today is Sunday, May 25th, 2014, and this is episode 371 entitled, Should Aprillian Come Out of the Gaming Closet? And I'm Aprillian, your host. That was a little awkward. And with me are my three awesome, wonderful, loving, supportive co-hosts. Good morning, Lita. How are you today?
Good evening. I am doing well. Thank you.
Good. You know, I almost went to high five you guys. I wish I could, give you a real high five.
Yeah.
And Rogue Slayer, how are you?
I'm lovely this morning.
I came close again to almost revealing your true identity.
No, my secret identity. Yeah, lovely. It's kind of rainy and foggy here, but oh well, I'm inside podcasting. So.
It's not SNOWING.
It's not doing that.
It's all that.
But you'll be glad to know I did get out to the beach, two different beaches this week, and I rode my new trike around. It was awesome.
You did.
Yes, we saw from you.
Great.
Lovely.
Yeah.
I'm seriously considering getting one of those.
Yeah.
It's really
I'm
cool.
exhausted just looking at the photos too.
I was exhausted too, man. I've been training like on a park around here that is a 2 mile loop that's fairly level, some grades, some hills. But, when I went down to Provincetown, these are some hills. So I was like flying down the hills, getting a little nervous on the corners and then working. I actually had to walk it up half a hill, but I thought that wasn't bad.
All right. Well, I was just talking with everybody earlier about the fact that I kind of keep my gaming side a secret from most of my family and all of my friends. I think my family knows I play because my little sister was very excited about the episode of Big Bang Theory. I think it was the first season or the second one where
the gaming one, yeah,
the one where Penny gets addicted.
Yeah.
And she goes, she thought I was Sheldon. I never felt so proud and understood by my family. Okay, so who on Does your family know that you play, or is it something that comes up, or do you guys keep it a secret?
Oh, they totally know.
They totally know. Yeah. Tidra?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, because your son plays, right, Tidra?
Yeah, they know. And I actually, I came out at work.
Wow, how was that?
Well, they were having a potluck, and they had us send in something about us that people maybe didn't know. And then they had a sheet, and everybody had to try to guess what everybody else's thing was that they did that other people might not know.
Oh,
yep.
How
so mine was playing WoW, and nobody got it. But I discovered 2 other people there that play WoW.
Yeah, I had a totally bonding moment with one of my one of my now former team members at work when we discovered we both were WoW crazed. Wow. And I'm actually BattleNet friends with one of the other team managers in a different department.
Oh, how cool! Now, do they know you?
He hasn't been on in a while, though.
Do they know you do a podcast, and do they have any idea what that means?
No, they don't, because I wasn't sure that they would that the people in the office even know what that was.
I know. Sometimes you mention it, and they look at you like, "What?" And you're like, "It's like
well,
it's like radio
I'm
on
going
the
to Nerdtacular, and last year I bought I helped sponsor and got the swag bag, and in it was a mouse pad that had the Nerdtacular art on it, and I have that on my desk at work. And my boss comes around once a day to hand out this sheet to everybody, and she asked me about it, and I said, well, that's the convention that I'm going to in July, and she's like, well, what is it? I said, well, it's put on by Scott Johnson, who does these podcasts that I listen to, and you could see the look of sheer,
like,
yes, what is she talking about?
Yeah.
Come over her
like
face,
you're speaking a second language,
Greek or something. And I thought, well, it's like a radio show on the internet.
Yeah,
that's exactly how I describe it.
Yeah,
it's like a radio show, but it's pre-recorded, and you can listen to it, download it
anytime you want. So so I haven't really mentioned that I do a podcast because the look was just like, huh? I thought, okay, that's not gonna. People aren't gonna know what that is.
You should see me explaining it to my 92-year-old mother on repeated occasions because she never remembers.
I'm talking to this GM, and I can't even pronounce their name. I don't even know if they're male or female.
Right.
They spoke in a very generic way, so I'm honestly not sure. But how on earth would you say that? Shrimalaya?
Yeah, I think you did pretty good. Shrimalaya.
Shrimalaya?
Shrimalaya.
So I was talking. They were the person I was talking to. So huge shout out to them.
Thank you, Shrimela. Yeah, thanks for helping me.
But so they say, "Hi, how are you tonight?" Just general chit chat, and can I talk to you about this issue? And I said, "Oh yes, of course. I'll stop killing my rares on Timeless Isle and chat to you. Of course, it's not a problem." And they said, you've this issue that you had with the achievement, we're going to fix that for you. And I went, really? And they came back with no. Just kidding.
Awesome.
I was literally so excited because they said that they were fixing the achievement. And then my heart went to the bottom of my feet when they said no. And I was like, oh. And then the next line was, I'm just kidding. I'm like, oh, you are nasty.
You're like, stop it.
Sick sense of humor. So yeah. But I didn't get a screenshot. One of the things they asked me to log on to another character, and I said no problem, be right back. And I logged into my Death Knight later. Yeah, I know, different. Over on Timeless Isle, and I'm in that little hut there. And the next thing, I see my Warlock come online.
Are you kidding?
And there's the GM tag right in front of it. So it's got Leader the Insane, but right in front it's got GM. So they're controlling my character. And I just went, screenshot. And I went to hit the screen, print screen, and they'd logged off.
Aww.
And I missed it. I was like, it was the most surreal thing. It was being like, on my death night and
it was
seeing
like you
my
were
warlock.
You were Whoopi Goldberg and they were Patrick Swayze.
Yes. It was so weird. And then they came back with, okay, you can, log back onto your tune now. It's all done. And that's when I logged back on and I looked at my achievements and yay. Aprillian, what have you been up to this week?
Mostly gardening. And I'm starting to think that maybe my next 90, I'm just not going to garden. Do you think you could do that?
No.
I know.
Yeah, I could.
It's like free stuff.
I'm not even going to talk to Yoon anymore.
Well, you could, you know what you could do? You could come over to Timeless Isle. Yeah. There's so much fun. Ignore everything I have said. It's so much fun, Aprillian.
Yeah, I think I might do that. So I'm in Orgrimmar in the auction house, and I use Auctioneer, and I had selected the Jade Panther and hit refresh, and no stats came up. I didn't know if it was a glitch or if and this was before that big crazy. Or maybe it was around the same time. Thinking it might have been. And so I went to shift clicked it into the field. I mean, I could have just typed Jade Panther, but I shift clicked and nothing popped up in the field. And the big window for the auction house was blocking most of my view because I'm on my MacBook Air and my screen is small and I'm playing two or three different characters. So I keep each one small. And I kind of noticed some writing at the bottom left-hand corner. Jade Panther has been added to your mount collection. Oh my God.
Oh no.
Yes. I watch Ink Master, and I don't know if any of you watch it, but Tattoo Baby was always freaking out. I'm freaking out. Well, I was freaking out.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, it's a nice mount, and I know that if you get 5 of them, you can combine them for, something else, but it wasn't even, I don't even think it was the account. Oh yeah, it was the account that had the lovely, the blue one. What's it called? Sapphire, Panther that Jeppy gave me. Shout out to Jeppy. I sent him a direct message and he wrote me back. So I guess he's forgiven me for breaking him.
Breaking him. That's good.
I was a little worried when I sent him the message because I thought, ooh, maybe he won't write me back because I really broke him. So, has any of you done the combining?
No.
Because that's 18,000, and then don't you need something else once you combine it? Some more parts and everything? So anyways... I'm freaking out.
I think it's just the mount.
Just the mount?
I think it's just the mount.
Oh, neat.
I don't blame you for freaking out.
I decided to open up a ticket, which was weird because when I first hit the button to open up a ticket, it didn't take me to, it took me to the game menu. And I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, help. So it's in a different place, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's been for a while that I haven't needed help. Okay. So anyways, I opened up a ticket and I said, please help me. I accidentally added this mount to my collection and I really need the money and, not expecting anything back, really. I mean, GM's got to be busy. So I did that. And within, I think, an hour or two, it might have been a few more hours, but I'm sitting at a friend's house with my laptop and, sometimes I pull out I play WoW while I'm talking to people. It's okay. And I went oh, right. I checked my mail. I went, oh, right. And, then they're like, what? What happened? I'm like, I got this, this pet back. And of course, they look at me like I'm stupid. Or this mount back. So, anyways, it says, greetings, Astara. We were able to provide the restoration you requested. If you need any further assistance with this issue, please don't hesitate to contact us and they gave me a URL. An email will be sent to your registered email address with the full details of your restoration. If you have not received a response after some time, please visit your account management. So anyways, it was in my mailbox.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
Wow. That's awesome.
I know. Rogue Slayer, how's your week been?
It's been awesome. And I'm yawning because I'm so exhausted from PvP mania.
Wow. Who would have thunk it?
Who would have thunk it? Oh my God. I went, at one point I was on my farm and I was like, wow, this is so zen. It's like,
no, you know what it is? It's Rogue Slayer, it's like I literally have to say to Aprillian and to Tidra, I don't know who she is anymore.
I know.
I'm scared.
Cats are playing with dogs. What's going on? So after last week's show, and I told you the whole story about people inspecting me and then being nice about it. I was hanging out in Tolbrod during one of the many times when no one on Alliance showed up and we just sat around. I started inspecting other players to see what they had on, so I could see what I needed to be. And
okay, but not to critique.
No, I wasn't harping on them. Like, guys, you have this. I was like, looking for inspiration. It's like going window shopping.
I have a green trinket.
Yep. Yeah, I think I had like a green 329 trinket.
I'm surprised nobody's whispered me going
new to 90.
Just wait.
I know. That's what they said to me.
Oh,
It'll
really?
happen this week.
I think Gandhi was in this situation where someone was inspecting his robes, and I think he told the person that I invite you to bite me. It's a little known Gandhi quote. I'm sorry, is that sacrilegious or
Oh my God, I can't believe I said that. Thank you, Kyle. That was really exciting. It's funny that you can play a certain way in World of Warcraft and then find that something motivates you to step out of your comfort zone. And that's always good when that happens. The inspecting thing always gets me, but I don't know. Have you ever inspected anybody? Either one of you guys?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Every time I rock up to one of those night elf females, the blood elf females.
Yeah, right.
No, it all depends what gear they're wearing. And it's like, I didn't know that was in the game.
Right. Yeah, that's one thing. Yeah, but just to criticize them or,
The bouncy.
Shame them. Anyway, so that was fun. Thank you, Kyle. Good to hear Rogue Slayer and Tidra and Lita. I just had a funny thing happen. I'm using the quest thing, and wow, it gives you a bunch of information. The first thing it told me to do, and I did start in Orgrimmar, and I'm on Sheldon, who is my level 66 Paladin. The first thing it told me was go to Borean Tundra. And I swear I'm embarrassed. It took me like 10 minutes to figure out Borean Tundra was in Northrend. Fortunately, I was in Orgrimmar at the Flight Master, and I didn't take the Flight Master, and I was able to just fly up. It's interesting because there's a lot of real estate in WoW, and it's amazing how much we do remember. You know, it's not. I should not scold myself for forgetting where Borean Tundra was. At first, I was looking at over there by Dalaran and stuff, and then I realized, oh, it's over there. And how do I get there? There was probably a portal, but I was already at the Flight Master, so I just took the Zeppelin over, and now it's telling me all the quests I need to take, and I'm really excited. And I actually had a quest to turn in. Where is that? It's got little hints like you only got 4 XP gaining heirlooms equipped, so I guess I could have more on.
Oh, it even reminds you to equip everything.
Right. What else can I? Oh, I could have a hat over. I got the horseman's thing on. All right, so I'm really excited about this, and thanks again, Grand Negus, for bringing this to our attention. And now it's time I get to play this.
We're clan of darkness here together. What's in an egg that we can't weather? Apocalypse. We've all been there. The same old boss. Why should we care? We're clan of darkness here together. What's in an egg that we can't weather? There's nothing that we can't face. Except for bunnies.
3, 2, 1. So, what's going on in Clans of Darknesses? I and Control Alt WoW on Nevikov and Worm Rest Accord. I think we have another group, but I keep forgetting its name. And also Animal Kingdom on, which is our Horde guild. If anybody has a Horde on Earthen Ring, you can play with us on Animal Kingdom.
Animal Kingdom, my Worgen Mage hit 100 on that.
Oh, congrats.
And he's Alliance, not Horde.
Right. Because he's in Animal Kingdom. I still, that whole, and it's kind of funny, that whole guild was set up because I was selling animals. Because remember, we had to trade them back and
you were a
forth.
broker with the neutral auction house.
Yes, in Booty Bay and Tanaris. Wow, back in the good old days.
And Everlock.
And where?
Everlock.
Oh, yeah, Everlock. You're absolutely right. Everlock. Yep. So, what else is going on?
Well, apparently, we've got a lot of green men. The Greenicide at level 10. I think that's on, not Winterhoof. That's on Argent Dawn, I think.
Okay.
No, Worm Rest Accord, sorry. Greenicide is at level 10, is at level 20. Also on Earthen Ring US, we have Haralen, who's at level 30.
Awesome.
On Winterhoof, we have Erleshtung, which is my Drenai Mage. Thanks to Grand Negus last week. He power leveled me through a couple of dungeons, and he healed awesomely. Even though we had the worst possible tanks in all the instances, we had tanks who just basically taunt, and they don't even take care of the mobs. They just leave. But there were no wipes as far as I could remember. And we also have Sky Green, who's hit level 60.
Ooh.
And on Earthen Ring, we have Araneth, who's hit max level 120. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
All our levelers. We don't have any special song this week, but
Maybe
keep on trekking, people.
Yeah.
You'll
Good
get there.
job. It auto accepts quests.
Yep.
Yes, that's interesting. All right. It's always nice to try a new add-on. And thanks again. How do I turn this in? I'll figure it out. How am I flying inside Warsong Hold? How's that possible?
In which one?
Warsong Hold. In Borean Tundra.
Because the second level is like...
No, but I'm in all of the levels. I'm just walking around flying. Flying around. Interesting. It might be a glitch. All right, this is Aprillian for the Horde and for playing the way you want to play.
And this is Constructs for power leveling the little characters because they need some love too.
This has been Grand Nagus, Rule of Acquisition, number 19. Satisfaction is not guaranteed. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. See you next Monday, the 27th. Same time, same bat channel.
Thank you, Stone. Thank you for dropping in. Hi, Stone.
Oh, hi, Stone. Wow, we had a celebrity in the audience. Good to see you.
Peace.
That's Stone of Wild Challenges, which is an excellent podcast.
Definitely.
And website, and he has made certain aspects of World of Warcraft even more fun and challenging.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Definitely. Now we're going to see, are we going to play, Stone, are we going to play Iron Man in Classic? Have you checked out, does the API work? Last time I heard you weren't sure yet. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that all turns out.
That's the real Iron Man. It's classic. No help, no heirlooms, no green gear.
They say they don't think the API will be ready at launch.
Okay.
Okay, so API not ready for launch means that we can't use add-ons depending on the API either. That sucks.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It is what it is.
No add-ons.
No add-ons.
Not yet.
I'm a sad Nagus.
Well, it might be good because it might give us a chance.
How many years?
It might give us a chance to get used to playing vanilla again, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, 1012. That's incredible. All right, guys. I'm going to try to get this out tonight.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Awesome. And I managed not to burn dinner, so that's good.
Oh, nice.
All right.
Thank you.